everyone, it's Jasmine
and Chris.
Welcome back to another video. For today's video, we're going to be making some kid-friendly vegan recipes. This is a recipe video that we have been planning on doing for a while, and we're really excited that we finally got it done.
So we've done a few kid-friendly recipes in the past, and they've always been well received, so we thought it would be fun to put out a few more, and especially during this time, we know how important it is to keep kids busy and occupied, so...
And entertained, I guess.
Through food and otherwise. And we found that kids will also love these, but they're also simple enough to cook with your kids, so this could be a good bonding activity too.
So we're making 4 recipes today. The first recipe we're putting together is a vegan hamburger helper. This one it's basically a cheeseburger pasta. It's very simple, it's one pot, and this has been on our blog for a little while now. So you guys seem to be loving it, so I think that you're gonna enjoy this part of the video.
And then the next recipe we're making are biscuit donuts. So basically they're flaky biscuits made into donuts, rolled in cinnamon sugar. Super decadent, but also really delicious.
We're making a hidden vegetable pasta, which I feel like a lot of kids might need. My mom used to make it when I was a kid, and it was a great way for us to get in our veggies because we didn't usually want to do that.
And then the final recipe we're making today is a skillet biscuit pot pie. So think of a vegetable pot pie, but instead of it being wrapped in a crust, it's in a skillet with baked biscuits on top.
It's delicious.
Really bomb.
Very decadent, but very comforting and
favorite.
Worth it. Before we get this video started, if you aren't already subscribed, you can hit that subscribe button down below. Also hit that bell for post notifications so you can get notified when we post new videos.
Which is typically every Wednesday and every Friday. And if you're new here, thanks for joining us.
So let's dive into the video.
The first recipe we're making today is vegan hamburger helper, also known as vegan cheeseburger pasta. To start out, we're gonna oil a pan and put it on medium heat. We'll then add some onions and some garlic, and we'll let that cook down until the onions become translucent and the garlic fragrant. Next, we're gonna add in our vegan ground beef. This is the Beyond Meat grounds, but you can use anything that you have either in your fridge or that's available at your local grocery store. We'll just let the grounds cook up with the onions and the garlic as we break it into pieces, and we'll let it cook for around 6 minutes, and then we are ready to move on. Now in a small bowl, we'll add some cornstarch along with some oregano, some paprika, and some chili powder, and we'll just mix that together. We'll then just give it a quick sprinkle over our meat, onions, and garlic that we just cooked up, and we'll just stir it through until everything is nice and combined. And then we'll add in some almond milk or any unsweetened plant beverage of your choice. We're also gonna add in some vegan beef broth here. Yes, it's an actual thing, and if you don't have any, you can just sub that out for vegetable broth. Add some salt and some pepper, as well as some uncooked rotini pasta, and then we'll just mix that through until it's nice and combined. You can also add in tomato sauce here. That'll really help elevate the flavor of this dish. We didn't have any on hand, so we didn't include it, but we definitely recommend it. Bring it to a boil, cover it, and we'll cook until our pasta is al dente. Now we're going to add in our vegan cheese and then mix it through, and then we'll allow it to become nice and melty. That looks so dang good. This has been one of my favorite dishes recently, and for very good reason. Once it's finished cooking, we can add it to a bowl. We're topping ours with some parsley, and then we'll dig in. Enjoy.
The next recipe we're putting together today is a hidden vegetable pasta. This is actually courtesy of my mom. She used to make this for my brother and I all the time growing up, and it was one of the ways that she used to sneak vegetables into our meals without us knowing. So the first step is optional. It just depends on how picky the kids are. So when I was younger, I didn't really like to eat green things. So my mom used to remove the skin from the zucchini so that I wouldn't be able to actually see it in the pasta. And we usually just save the skin for compost or for vegetable broth. And we're doing the same with eggplant as well. And with this recipe, you can use whatever vegetables you want or whatever vegetables you have available to you. So just mix and match with whatever you think that would go well in this pasta. Next, I'm going to just shred the zucchini, the eggplant, and also some carrots. And you can also do this by finely chopping them if you don't have a shredder. I'm going to grab my pan, add a little bit of water, and once that warms up, I'm going to add in some onions and garlic and saute that until fragrant. Next, I'm going to add in my shredded vegetables along with some finely chopped mushrooms. Again, you can add whatever vegetables you want, or you can leave any of these out if you would like as well. It just depends on what your preference is, what your kids' preference is, and also what you have handy. So I'm gonna cook this until it is very soft, very cooked through. And once it reaches that point, I'm going to add in my favorite marinara sauce. It doesn't really matter which one you add. If you wanna make this extra flavorful, you can add a marinara sauce that has extra flavor, like a roasted garlic or a roasted bell pepper one, if you know that your kid will be okay with that. And then we're just going to mix this together, and you can leave it as is. It will be a little chunky. We take the extra step of blending this. You can use an immersion blender, or you can pop it in a high-speed blender and blend it until smooth. The only thing with this is the color will vary depending on what you add into it. As you can see, this is an orange color. When I was younger, I didn't even notice that this was an orange color, but just do whatever you think that your kid would be okay with. Either work, both are tasty, and I hope that your kid and also you enjoy this recipe.
Next recipe we're making today is a skillet vegetable pot pie. To start out, we're going to be adding some vegan butter into a cast iron pan. We'll set it to medium heat and we'll allow the butter to completely melt. We'll then add in some onions and some garlic along with some celery, and we'll let that cook down until the onions become translucent, garlic fragrant, and the celery becomes nice and soft. Once the celery, onions, and garlic are cooked down, we'll add in our potatoes. These are russet potatoes that are diced and peeled, and then we'll just mix those through and allow them to cook down as well. Next, we'll be adding in some all-purpose flour to our recipe. This will serve as a thickener, and we'll just mix it through until all of the flour is fully absorbed. Then we'll add in some unsweetened almond milk. If you don't have almond milk, you can use any plant-based beverage of your choice. Just make sure it's unsweetened. And then we're gonna add in some vegan chicken broth here. If you don't have vegan chicken broth, you can always sub that for vegetable broth. We'll also add in some ground black pepper here as well, and then some fresh thyme and parsley. Next, we're gonna add in our frozen veggies. We have some broccoli here, as well as some carrots, corn, green beans, and peas. We'll mix that through and allow it to cook. After a few minutes, our mixture will start to look like this, and we'll know it's time to add our biscuits. For this recipe, we're using canned biscuits. We're using the Immaculate Baking Company flaky organic biscuits, which happen to be vegan, and we'll actually cook them about halfway before we add them onto our mixture. So they'll be nice and golden when we add them. We'll be able to fit about 8 biscuits onto our skillet, and then we'll just pop it back into the oven to cook for the remainder of the time. And there we go. We are ready to enjoy. This is a super comforting dish, and we promise you will love it.
And last but not least, we're going to be making these 4-ingredient biscuit donuts. They are so good. I can't wait for you to try them. So the first thing we're going to do is mix together our cinnamon sugar, and it's just sugar and cinnamon. You mix it together until uniform, and then we're going to set that aside. Next, we're going to take our biscuits, make sure that they're vegan. These are the ones that we use. They're accidentally vegan, so just make sure you check the ingredients. And what we're going to do is cut some circles out of the middle to form them into donuts. So we're using a cannoli mold here just because we have one handy in the house, but you can use a water bottle, a soda bottle, you can use a shot glass, whatever you have that has a round tip that's about an inch in diameter will work. So just continue doing this until you have cut all of the dough into donuts, and then we're going to move on and fry them. The next step is simple. We're going to pop the donut into our hot oil and fry it until both sides are nice and golden brown. Once they are done frying, we're going to transfer them to a paper towel lined plate and just drain off any excess oil. And then we're going to immediately dunk them into our cinnamon sugar mixture and fully coat them. And just continue doing this until you have cooked up all of the donuts, coated them, and you have yourself some beautiful, fluffy cinnamon sugar biscuit donuts. These were a staple in my childhood. My mom used to make these all the time for special occasions, and I hope you can try them out. I also wanted to show you the donut holes. When they fry, they expand a lot. They look interesting, to say the least. So anyways, Chris and I also tested this recipe in an air fryer, and we wanted to show you that method as well. So you're going to need some extra oil just to get these to be that nice golden brown color. So we're going to coat the biscuit dough, pop these into our air fryer, and air fry them up until they are nice and golden. And we realized that if you immediately dunk these into the cinnamon sugar mixture, since it is the air fryer, it leaves them a little drier, and it didn't hold as much cinnamon sugar as we would have wanted it to. but if you brush it with some extra oil or melted vegan butter and then dunk it into the cinnamon sugar mixture, it held much more of the coating and it yielded a better result. I wanted to also show you a side-by-side comparison. So the one on the left is the one that we didn't add some extra oil or melted vegan butter to, whereas the one on the right we did, and it did hold more of the coating. So that is the one that we would recommend. Either work though. I hope you can try out this recipe. Let us know what you think and enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching.
We hope you enjoyed this video.
If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Let us know which one of these recipes is your favorite.
And if you do make any of the recipes, feel free to tag us on Instagram at Conscious Chris and Sweet Simple Vegan, or comment on the blog and say hey. We always love to hear from you guys.
So that is all we have for you today. We have another fun video coming on Friday, and we hope to see you then.
And after Friday, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break here on YouTube, but we will be on Instagram posting everything. So if you want to join us there, we'll be happy to see you. And then we'll be back in the coming weeks with some more videos.
So we hope you are having a beautiful day wherever you are. Thank you for watching our video, and we'll see you soon. Bye.